All right, friends, how is everybody doing today?
Morning.
Morning. All right. So, we give me one thing we're grateful for. We're going to get started. I'm going to do less yelling today, and we're going to do more conversation around the things we've talked about, which is one little piece that I read this morning. How's that sound? Just one win, one thing we're grateful for. That's all I need.
I'll go. I'm grateful for the flexibility of these phone calls that I can drop my kid off at school and listen on the way back to the office.
Love that, Katie. Thank you. Thank you. Hopefully you find value in them. Um, Today, when we do get into our lesson, it is going to, I'm not going to force people or make fun of people for not having their cameras on, but I am going to ask that we have some conversation about what we talk about today and getting listings and kind of a review of the past however many lessons we've done. But the thing that we're going to talk about today is a line from Epictetus, and he says, "Every habit and capability is confirmed and grows in its corresponding actions, walking by walking and running by running. Therefore, if you want to do something, make a habit of it. You don't want to do that. Therefore, if you want to do something, make a habit of it. If you want to do something, make a habit of it." I'll read it one more time. If you want to do something, make a habit of it. If you don't want to do that, don't, but make a habit of something else instead. The same principle is at work in our state of mind. When you get angry, you've not only experienced that evil, but you've also reinforced a bad habit, adding fuel to the fire. We are what we repeatedly do, Aristotle said. Therefore, excellence is not an act, but a habit. Excellence is not an act, but a habit. The Stoics add to that we are a product of our thoughts, such as our habitual thoughts, such also will be the character of our mind. Think about your activities of the last week, as well as what you have planned for today and the week that follows. The person you'd like to be or the person you see yourself as. How closely do your actions correspond to him or her? Which fire are you fueling? Which person are you becoming? I don't want to think about the future habits. I want to think about the habits of our last week. Because our future habits, we build this like, I'm going to do this and this, and we all have great intentions, and then the week comes and then we don't do it. So think about your activities of the last week. How closely do your actions actually correspond to the person you want to be? So the conversation we're going to have today is uh, we've talked about listings for the past 7 weeks, however long we've been doing this. Who has taken action around building a database, communicating with the database, talking about giving your database market analysis on their home, and who has reached out to for sale by owners and for rent by owners? And if you haven't, this is where the conversation needs to become a conversation. Because we jump on these calls every morning because we want to be successful in real estate. Yeah, we're laying out paths to you. We gave a path last week, that if you spent 1 hour a day doing it for a year, it would net you $350,000. So there's either a gap in my coaching style, or there's a limiting belief, or this isn't what you want. So talk to me through what actions we've taken around communicating with our database or reaching out to for sale by owners and for rent by owners. Who can give me something?
I'll go. So I did reach out to some for rent by owners last week. I haven't been very successful with it, but I did find myself lacking on my phone calls last week. So this week I'm trying to regroup and find my balance to make sure I'm doing both.
Okay. Tell me what was not successful about it, and how many did you reach out to?
So I reached out to about 40 something of
Okay.
the responses I got back. Most of them came back on the hot pads responses.
Yep.
A few did respond to me, but once they figured out that I was a realtor, it was kind of a ghost town. But again, I'm gonna, go back through, see if any more have gotten to that 30-day mark and just keep trying.
Okay. Can you pull me a script? Can you pull me a conversation about one that turned into a ghost town?
It was kind of just the script that you gave me. I'm not personally looking to buy, but I do have clients in the area. One wrote back, "Yeah, I'd love to know," and then I think he reread my message and was like, "Never mind."
Yep. I understand. And when we're doing for rep by owners, remember it's 1 in 35 gets us an appointment. That doesn't mean that if you get to 34, the 35th one is going to. There have been days, I still have the call sheet when there was 1 week in 2018 where I made 1,200 some dials and I didn't get a single listing appointment. And then the next week, I got 7 in 55 dials. The maths. The only way the maths, though, is if we consistently do it over time. So if it is something that you can put on autopilot and keep in your business, I encourage you to consistently do it
Okay.
because
I
the
just want to make
maths
sure
over time.
yeah, I want to make sure I'm focusing on my phone calls too and not dropping down.
Perfect. Perfect. You can't, yes, perfect. What else? What else? Who else? Who's reached out to their database to give them market updates on their home? I can take silence as no one. This is an industry. I'm not going to yell. This is an industry where you have to talk to people. Steven, I'm going to have you do this exercise for me, okay? There are no trick questions.
Yep.
Steven, what is our job as real estate agents?
To build relationships and sell homes, close
Sell
deals.
homes. Perfect. It's our job as a real estate agent is to sell homes, but Steven alluded to in his first part. Who do we sell homes to?
People.
People. So if I want to sell more homes, I need to do what?
Talk to people.
So you're telling me, Steven, it's that easy? I'm not selling enough homes because I'm not talking to enough people, or is there a magic pill somewhere that I'm missing?
What other way would you connect? You
That's
have to
what I don't
communicate to
understand
people.
either.
Right.
If you are not in a listing appointment or working a contract, what should you be doing? Talking to people.
People.
Because you don't get to practice the art of real estate, the greatest career in the industry, if you are not talking to people. Period. End of story. There's no other secret. You can talk about how great of customer service you get. Fantastic. That's awesome. Congratulations. You don't get to do it if you're not talking to people. I love you all, and that's why I get a little firm in this, because I think we're in the greatest industry in the world. Talk to people. If you're not willing to do that, you got to find a different career. But talk to people. It's so simple. I don't like talking to people in person, so I go behind the phone. You don't have to do that. If you don't like talking to people behind the phone, go meet people. We met a guy from Colombia who did an open house every day for 365 days, his first year in real estate. Sold some 78 houses. But open houses don't work. What was he doing? Was there a magic pill at his open house? No, he just consistently showed up and talked to people. So if you're talking to people in person, that's phenomenal. Because here's the difference: when you talk to people in person, you don't have to talk to as many. When I'm cold calling, I got to talk to 10 people to get one person to want to talk to me. That number is a lot smaller when you're talking to people in person because they don't want to say no to your face and you get to really show your personality. But my fear is we're going to continue to jump on these calls. Everything works if you do it consistently. Correct. Correct. But my fear is that we're going to get on these calls and we're not going to take action around them. That is my biggest fear. I'm going to sit on that for a second because I don't want that to be the case. This industry is not hard. It's really not. We're not selling tech software to multi-million-dollar companies. We are selling a product that we all need, and the only way that we do this is a part that we get into again is that we're all chasing the now money. We've talked about this, the 4 laws of lead generation. We service all leads. We all are all chasing the next deal, 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 and the next deal. And we're just looking for the magic pill to get me the next deal, the magic pill to get me the next deal, the magic pill to get me the next deal. But we're not realizing that along that way, we've talked to 150 people, of which 3 to 6% of them are going to buy, sell, or invest in real estate this year. We just did not build a conversation around those people. But tell me where the gap is with this group so we can speak directly to this group. Is it the front end work or is it the follow-up work? Which one do we need to talk about? I want to make sure we find value in this conversation. I've been working on cleaning up my database, updating addresses, adding birthdays. As I do, I call, text, email, and send people messages on Facebook. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Talk to your database. That is your lifeline. If you don't have that, guess what? You don't have. Anybody want to say it? Because I've said it before. If you don't have a database, you don't have a real estate business, you have a job. And that job can create burnout. But when you have a database and you serve that database, you never work a day in this industry. And when you continue to grow your database and the market goes down and people are screaming and shouting about how bad this market is, which it's not, with your database, you can rest assured that your lights will stay on. So what is it? Who has set one listing appointment since we started these calls?
I actually was able, or I'm working on setting a listing appointment for someone I met at my first open house back in February.
Okay.
I've been sending her stuff, MLS strip, things like that, and she hasn't responded until last Friday. She
Okay.
called me out of nowhere and was like, "Hey, I want to look at these houses." She was looking to buy, but I knew she still had a house to sell. So anyway, the one that she wanted to see went under contract before we could see it. So now I'm waiting for her to respond to my last message about meeting up to talk about her goals, knowing she had to sell before she could buy.
What I love about that, Katie, is the part where she didn't respond. Did everybody hear
Yeah.
that? Did everybody hear the magic and follow-up? They didn't respond to Katie, but they're buying and selling with Katie. How does that make sense in our brains, right? Because it's when we're following up with people and our database is low and our now business is low, we're freaking out and we panic because they're not following up with us. They're not answering our calls. It's still working. That's where the magic comes in. It's slowly then suddenly. I'm doing the work every single day. Tim talked about it. We do the work every single day. We continuously grow our database. We continuously follow up with the people. We add new people in our database every single day. And for the first 90 days, it's like this, and you're just like pushing a wheel up a greased hill. And then one day it's sudden, and all of a sudden your phone won't stop ringing. And the business comes. and it's drastic. Does everybody know who Ryan Serhant is? Katie, I'm going to share a story that goes to yours. But Ryan Serhant tells a story in his book. So like Serhant, when he first got it, he was on a TV show, and he when he got on that TV show, he didn't really have any transactions going on. He was an actor and somehow snuck his way onto the TV show, and the first episode airs, and he goes to his office that day, and he's like, man, my phone is going to be ringing off the hook. And he got to the office, and no one called. Till the end of the day, somebody called and says, Ryan, we loved you on the show last night. We are looking in whatever part, the Bronx, up to 5 million. And so Ryan races out to show them, and he shows these guys properties for about 3 months, husband and wife. 3 months he's showing these properties all over New York. And then one day, ghost. Never hear from him again. I'm sorry my hair looks like crap today, guys. I couldn't find my gel, so don't make fun of me. They just go ghost. They go silent. They won't answer his calls, his texts, or his emails. But once a month, I think it was for 4 years, once a month he sent them an email. Just checking in, giving them updates, value, not asking if they're still in the market, but just giving them value, similar to what Katie was just talking about. And then one day his phone rings. And it says, hey, Ryan, this is so-and-so. I really appreciate your emails and following up. Our budget has changed. My wife and I just got divorced. Our budget's changed. It's 25 million and I need something next week. And they close on a $25 million property in New York from one email every single month. That's all it takes. So Katie, when we look at that follow-up that you just did, imagine if you were doing that, if you had those drips for 50 people. Do you think your phone would be ringing pretty consistently?
Yes, I think so. So I feel like I'm still just like building that up. I know I've reached out to a lot of like just parents from the school and kids' friends, and I've had a lot of like lunch dates and things like that where we get to like build the relationship, mention real estate. And I've also had a mom who I didn't know all that well. It was like from 3 years ago, who we met at Dunes West and we ate, and she starts telling me all these people she knows from the community that will be looking soon and things like that. And she had decided recently that she was going to start treating people how she would want them to like treat and support her. So she was like, so if I was starting a real estate business, I would want someone to help me out. So she starts, telling me all the people she knows, and it created a really good relationship there as well.
People want to be helpful.
Yeah.
We have to ask. So obviously this conversation is around listings. What questions, what challenges, what limiting beliefs do you have around listings today that we can talk about? We've got 9 minutes left on this call. What is a script that you're struggling with, a conversation, a rejection, a limiting belief? Give me a challenge that you're overcoming and we as a group can knock it out. I just need one. A lot of it is momentum too. Everyone has felt positive momentum, working out, diet, business. When you keep doing it consistently, you build the momentum and it becomes easier and easier and you see more and more success. And as soon as you stop, your momentum stops. Here. Thank you, Mark. Period. Period. It's the, where's this book? Finish. This truly is the greatest book ever written. Finished by John A. Cuff. Give yourself the gift of done. It talks about the day after perfect. This is a lesson. So you get off this call and hopefully you heard something of value. And this is what it's going to look like to most of us. We're going to get out there and it looks like this to me. I get out there, I build my plan. And today I'm tomorrow morning, because we always start tomorrow. We never start in the present moment. I don't know why. But we'll always start tomorrow, and tomorrow we're going to have the perfect plan. We're going to wake up early and we're going to crush it. And we're going to get on the phone, and two things are going to happen. I might get an appointment, or I'm going to call my database. I might get an appointment, and I might not, but that's okay because I showed up and I did the work. And then Tuesday is going to be this, or Wednesday is going to be the same thing. And Thursday is going to be the same thing. And then Friday is going to be the same thing. And then Saturday, I didn't do anything. And instead of being in that same mindset on Sunday where I get back on the horse, I don't do any prospecting or any of that work that I just set myself out to on Monday. Because we have this belief that we have to be perfect. We have to nail it. I said that I was going to make 50 appointments. I said that I was going to make $50 and I was going to get one appointment. And if I don't, damn, I'm not perfect. It's the day after perfect. How do you respond when the next day, the day when things didn't go right, you still showed back up? Because to Mark's point, if you don't show back up, your momentum is gone. And you've all seen the corny thing, but I love it, where it's like, what is perfect? What does consistency look like, or what does success look like? And it's like 100%, 105%, 90%, 100%, 15%. It's showing up every day. That is success, and that is consistency. Let's look. What else do we got here? Got some other messages we'll read. Okay. Honestly, I've been busy with classes and education. I have to do better with phone calls. I am not good at that. So you're good. So just a quick point on that. Find 5-10 minutes. We always have 10 to 15 minutes. If it's preparing the night before when you're in your car to make those calls, do it. Do it. Because one call is better than 0 calls. So if you right now you're making 0 calls, find a way to make 1. It's 100% more than you're making right now. Find the time. Tim, I had her saved on previous MLS search and open house she attended back in February. She was regularly opening the emails and looked at the listings. It still is. Perfect. I've been trying to get a listing sold that has been challenging. I have a potential new listing in the same neighborhood, but they're not pulling the trigger, and I feel like it's because that one have not sold the other challenging listing. Okay, so Lori, when we talk about listings, what are the 3 things to sell a house? Price, condition, location, right?
Sorry, I walked away for a second. Yes.
You have 3 options to get that listing sold.
Mm-hmm.
Price, condition, location.
Right.
That's it.
We've dropped the price. I think it was a little bit later than we should have. The location's great. The condition's great. There's some challenging things like a really sloped backyard, things like that. Also, this house is one of the bigger ones in the neighborhood, so
Yep.
the price looks higher. And I have someone who's come by my open house a couple times and talked to them. I keep in touch. They're looking to sell their house, but they won't pull the trigger because they keep seeing that this one's not selling.
Yeah. So what's the price to get it sold?
I think we're at the price it should be to get it sold. So I don't know. I've been working on it, trying to figure out other avenues. We've done open houses galore. I'm doing a broker open house this week. Hopefully that'll help.
Yeah. What is the seller's motivation?
He's a investor, so he doesn't even live there.
Okay. What's his earning? Is he going to make good money on where it's currently listed at?
Probably not at this
Okay.
point. Mm-hmm. He put some things into the home that I didn't quite agree with. As an agent, like for instance, I would have the first thing I suggest is putting lights in bedrooms, and he didn't. So we have lamps in there. There's some challenges, like I said, for this house.
What are the average days on market in the neighborhood?
Let's see. Well, it depends. A lot of the other houses are only 1,600 square feet, and some of them are going in like 60 days. Some are 30. We're at right at around 70 now.
Okay.
But we're
Perfect.
also the biggest listing that's been in there.
Yeah. So,
mm-hmm.
Is there consistent showings?
No, that's the
Okay.
problem.
How many showings have you had?
Um, Probably 6. I mean, it's ridiculous, but we also were very, very high priced compared to, well, no, actually, right now there's 2 on their contract in the neighborhood at $260 per square foot. We're at like 238.
Okay.
We are definitely lower.
Yeah, so advertise that you're the lowest price per square foot in the neighborhood.
Okay, good idea. Thank you.
And then another big thing that we use to sell listings when listings sit is we reverse offer every single person that comes through the door. So
Okay.
every single person, every showing that we have, if they aren't putting an offer together themselves, we'll send them one.
Oh, okay.
Why can't the seller make an offer? So the 2 things are going to happen when you send a reverse offer to buyers. If Mark comes out, Mark is representing the buyer. Mark says they like it, they're just not ready yet. Okay, great. Well, we're going to send you over an offer here shortly. Mark says, what? I said, we're going to send you over an offer here shortly because it does 2 things. It can do 2 things. They either say no to the offer. Congratulations, you don't need to waste your time. They're not on the fence. They don't want the house. They just can't be mean to you.
Okay.
The second thing that's going to happen is they're going to do what?
They're going to think about it, maybe potentially sign it.
And they're going
Or
to counter.
negotiate.
Counter.
And now we're negotiating.
Okay.
So reverse offers are really big for us when homes sit.
Okay.
Reverse offer every single person. Talk to your owner about it. Tell him that don't send a reverse offer at full list price.
Right.
And then another good conversation for that is when they continuously sit and they've continually rejected it and it's your offer is $5,000, $10,000 up. Well, guess what? He's an easier pill for him to swallow for the next price reduction because he's already been offering people that price.
Okay.
So reverse offers are really good. As for the other home in the neighborhood, is it a similar build or is it a smaller one?
It's probably about 600 square feet less, so it is bigger, but it's not as big as this one.
And so it falls in line with the. So my question would be to those people: do you think that people are going to walk through that house and find it's a little too big and maybe a little too overpriced, but there's no other options because the other 2 are pending?
I tried that, and they even
Yeah.
have a pool in the backyard. And I was like, "Oh, we can sell this. Your house is beautiful. You got a pool. The other one doesn't have that. Your backyard is very usable. The other one's not so usable." They even came to the open house, and we twice. And I've talked to them about listing their house. And every time I have an open house, I have cookies left over. I take it to the other people with their kids, just to keep my name in front of them. And
Yeah. What is their rejection? What is their hold up? And then
their
it's
concern.
not up there.
Their concern is they won't be able to get enough for their house because they're seeing the one sitting there. But I did just send them a message yesterday because they didn't answer and said, "Did you realize that there's 2 houses in your neighborhood that are now under contract and they were listed at $260 per square foot? So we can get what you're looking for."
Correct.
So
They need to believe it. Show them proof.
okay.
People believe you because either your energy or stats. So make sure you're coming with both.
I did get someone that came by from the neighborhood that walked over to see my listing and said he walked in the door. He said, "I had to stop because I've never seen an agent have this many open houses in any neighborhood I've ever been to." He said, "You are consistently doing this. I don't understand why it's not sold yet." He said, "But whatever you're doing, your seller should be glad about it."
Yeah, I like that.
I'm like, "Can you write that down?"
Yeah, I love that. I think that Tim ended this with the perfect line. I love that, Tim. When we talk about perfection, we talk about getting it right every single day. Tim's message right here: only one person was ever perfect, and they nailed him to a cross. Keep practicing. You don't have to be perfect. Just keep going every single day. Show up, do the work. Real estate's simple. Talk to more people, sell more houses. Please go talk to more people today. I'll talk to you soon, friends. This was engaging. I appreciate everybody that jumped on. I appreciate everybody that shared things. And I look forward to seeing you guys next Tuesday. Sorry to go over.
Thank you for the help.